Hello and welcome back to the Claret Blue podcast. Something a little bit different for you today here. We're going to be ranking Unai Emery's best 10 results and worst 10 results, John.
Or only 10 defeats.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. How many games has he lost, actually, out of interest, do you know?
To be fair, when I was doing this, I left out only like a couple of...
Yeah, I was going to say...
10 was a stretch.
Yeah,
so
okay, yeah. When you initially asked about doing this episode, I think we teased it, didn't we, on an episode months ago now, probably.
I said I wanted
to rank every result in order.
And I was more than happy to.
But in my thinking, I thought, well, the top 10 is not obvious, but you can think of 10 bad results, and you can think of 10 brilliant results. Yeah. But like the difference between game number 30 and 40, like how do you differentiate?
That was the interesting bit.
The bits in the middle.
In the 35th minute.
So we've got worst 10 and best 10. We're going to start from worst. John, you've got a whiteboard. You're going to flash up each result one at a time.
Yeah.
We're going to do them in order from 10th bad.
The least bad.
The least bad to the worst bad. Thank you, John.
Bad.
And then the number 10 to number 1 will be the best ones. Mm-hmm. Number 1 is obviously the best. So Emery's 10th worst game for us, John, is...
I've gone with Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 0.
Yeah. Quite a crap, kind of demoralising one, if I remember correctly. Obviously, like this season of like...
It was a frustrating one.
Going there thinking, well, we were good enough to beat Forest. Yeah. And the fact that we couldn't and didn't felt like a bit of a blow.
Yeah. Again, like we're starting from just a defeat. You're going to lose games. And I remember in the press conference afterwards, we had the chance to go in the top 4, I think. And this is the game actually where Emery was asked in his presser most recently, or before Palace, and he said... something along the lines of that was almost my favourite part of the season, because it was when I told the players we can get top 4 after losing that match, because I think he liked the way that they played, and he knew that. Basically said,
easy to say in hindsight when you've already qualified.
Yeah, exactly. But he said after the end of the season against Liverpool or something, he was like, remember when I told you about Forest away and that we were there? So it, in a roundabout way, it was his favourite moment, because it was like the start of you know, we can still, we're top 4, we can do it. So yeah, that was the worst one, because there aren't a lot of them.
No, and I think also in doing these in order from 10 to 1, of the list that you sent to me, I know we're kind of doing the whiteboard thing, but I do know what's coming here. We do plan these episodes. It's the least offensive one. It's the least offensive defeat out of these 10, which makes it the 10th.
But it was bad because Forest didn't win many games to start the season. They were on a poor run, and
we should have.
Cooper's job was under threat, etc.
Should have beaten.
Yeah.
Number 9 then.
Twice I've done that.
For those listening, John just hit himself in the face. I'm not laughing at the result, which is Villa 1, Man United 2.
Yeah.
Douglas Luiz scoring, the little shimmy celebration that's probably gone viral since, with the United players replicating it in training, which is absolutely mental. I can't remember too much of this game, strangely, apart from that. I feel like I've probably wiped it from my memory a bit, just because of how disappointing it is.
Yeah, that was it. It was just disappointing, because it was a chance for us to... We lost to Newcastle a couple of weeks before, which was kind of a spoiler. I didn't put Newcastle in this because I felt, we didn't play well, but we're going to lose the game at some point. We'd won all those games, or stayed unbeaten for so long at home. We can see 2 set-piece goals back-to-back from Shah. You know,
them things happen.
Exactly, it's going to happen at some point. But United game was just frustrating. And, of course, we lost it in the last minute, which made it even worse.
Was that when it went down to 5 points, the gap?
Yeah, like United weren't a million miles. So they were close to us in the end after that game, and then the week after it all changed again, because I think we won and they lost.
They lost to Fulham, was it? Was that later in the season?
Potentially, I don't know. But that happened quite a lot. We'd lose a game to a Tottenham or something, or United, or we'd bounce back and they would then struggle. So that's when I thought, we should be okay. But losing to United, they're doing the double overs, didn't they? Like, it's just...
No. Weren't
nice.
We've prepped this episode, John, but I'd be amazed if the other result against Man United is not in this top 10. Any defeat against Man United deserves to be recognised as one of the worst, especially with how crap they are at the moment. Yeah. Number 8 then, 1-0 Wolves.
1-0 Wolves the season before last now at Molineux. Just a Totti header from a corner. Just a frustrating one, because...
never nice losing to a Midlands rival either.
Yeah, and at the time, that felt like European football was not going to happen now.
We lost to them and United, didn't we, back to back?
Yeah.
Man United, sorry.
Lose to United, Fernandes' goal, can happen, is what it is. Go to Wolves, but then lose.
Yeah.
We had I think Mings had a good chance from close out close out from close range. Watkins as well, I think, had like just a frustrating game where it was almost the same game that we drew this season. And I remember after we drew 1-1, like the first thing I said, even though Watkins hit the post in the last kick of the game this season, the first thing I said afterwards was actually, that's frustrating, but Villa lost this game last season, and it's at the end of last season, at the start of this season, it was pretty much. So in the space of a couple of months or a few months, we've shown that we can actually turn those defeats into draws. We're a bit different. We scored straight after Wolves did through Torres, didn't we? But at the time that felt really demoralising. So it's like, maybe European football wasn't to be. Yeah, and we had to do something against. Well, we had to win both the home games against Brighton and Tottenham, and probably get something against Liverpool, which we did. But at the time, it didn't feel good.
Number 7, John, is Villa 2,
4-2 Leicester
4. Yeah, a stinker. That one.
A game of a load of mistakes.
Yeah, grim. That was that period when Emery was clearly not happy.
Was that the last of those 3 games? No.
I think it was the first, was it the first?
The first.
I thought it was the middle.
It was the first. I remember walking out with my dad, and what I said to him was like, what's worse is we've got the best 2 teams in the league to come next. And it was like, we're not going to probably get to the point here for the next...
That period of 3 games, again, you can say Man City and Arsenal, no, we'd obviously beat them this year, but then you go, well, anyone can lose to either of those. To have lost to Leicester in the way we did then was...
Yeah, because it felt like we were trying to build momentum when Emery... the first 2 games, fantastic, won them both. Yeah. But then Liverpool, we lost. Leeds, we just about beat. I say just about, we beat. We lost to Stevenage. And then... we're trying to kind of build momentum, and then we go and lose 4-2 to Leicester. It felt like a bit of a,
that was a smack round the face.
It was frustrating. So,
and
they got relegated.
Yeah, I feel like we've got the order. Well, you've got the order bank on here because as we're going through these, I'm getting progressively more disgusted by these results. Number 6, then, John. I think I know where this is heading. Villa 1, Everton 2.
In
cup
the cup.
Game. Yeah. I still very much not happy with our Carabao Cup campaign, as everyone knows. Yeah. A night where the ticket prices stuff was very annoying.
Yeah,
the whole thing was just grim. And going into that, I thought, well, we're good enough to beat Everton at home. We always beat Everton at home in the league.
Yeah.
To have lost in that manner, and again, it's the consequence, isn't it? It's not, we've lost the game, that's bad, we'll bounce back next week. That's our chance of winning that trophy gone at the first instance for a whole year, something that we've got to wait for. I can never kind of just bypass cup defeats by going, whatever, it means something.
It was frustrating because it didn't feel like we put everything into it, and I get it, we were in Europe as well. If we had to play more games, it would have been a test for the squad, so I'm not going to kind of lie about that. But any winnable game you have at home in a cup game, win it. Just get through, because then you might have another winnable game at home. If we were playing away against Newcastle, I understand, it's, but it just felt like an opportunity missed, because then in the Carabao Cup, if you win a couple of games, you're in the
I know
quarter-final or something, aren't you?
Like, 2-legged semi at home and away.
Really good opportunity for us. We haven't won a trophy in so long. Conference League would have been that, and we couldn't. So hopefully next year there's going to be loads of games again. But you just think, if we can get a nice draw, can we win a couple of games? And all of a sudden, Emery said, like in the FA Cup when we had the Chelsea replay, he said, well, at the moment I'm not really focused on this, but I will be if we go far. And that was not to kind of prove myself right, but that was my exact thinking before we went to Middlesbrough. I remember we did a podcast, and I was a bit like, if we win, we win, but if we don't, we don't. I'm not going to be that fussed about the FA Cup unless we go far. So I understand why the players weren't 100% at it, but Everton at home, it's kind of like, if you play to any sort of good level, we'd have been able to win.
Beat them. Number 5, then, John, halfway through Emery's worst results. Man United 3, Aston Villa 2, Boxing Day of Christmas just gone. An absolute sickener. I've spoken so much about my dislike for Man United and this team specifically. That kind of result just cannot be happening.
I think we did a season, kind of what did we do? The kind of indifferent reward. What are they called?
Alternative awards.
Reverse awards. Alternative awards. And we spoke about it then. I don't really want to speak about it too much now. It ruined my post-Christmas.
Oh, but you actually had a decent Christmas. We found out in that episode, didn't we? Because you got
4 CODs.
Yeah, 4 CODs.
Yeah, everything was fine until half time of that game.
Yeah.
I had my wine, I had my 4 CODs, had my curry as well. Had a nice Christmas, and
That ruined so much. That felt
horrible.
That felt disgusting. Yeah, let's move on. I don't even want to talk about it again.
Sorry, but leaving Manchester in God, I just felt like
that could be higher up for me. That's only 5. That could be near the top for me.
Yeah, to think we have 4 worse ones is a surprise, even though I've made the list. So
okay, number 4 then.
Not sure.
What is worse than Man United 3, Villa 2? It is.
And I disagree with it.
That's your list.
This United one should be higher, but I've gone with 5-1 Newcastle.
Okay. A worse scoreline, yes.
Yeah,
I'd have ranked Man United worse.
Yeah, I felt more like sick after the United game. Of like, I feel bad. Newcastle game was more of like, what, you know?
The Tyrone Mings thing makes that worse.
Yeah, and the Mings thing, that was the hangover. I'd put the United one above it, to be fair. But I
think there's enough contributing factors for Newcastle to be bad. You know, the opening day of the season,
it's definitely in there
and stuff like that. Yeah, 100%. It's in there. The scoreline looks terrible.
As a result, performance wasn't even that bad. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah,
because we had to make changes. There's reasons why we lost at 5-1. It was the worst place to go on the opening day.
I saw somebody did a tweet when we qualified for the Champions League, or obviously at the end of the season, and it was the first game and the last game scorelines. And it's like, if somebody told you we'd have lost 5-1 on the start of the season and lost 5-0 at the end of it, but you finished 4th that year, unbelievable, really. Number 3, John, on the list, the 3rd worst result under Unai Emery, Villa 0, Tottenham 4. Yeah, the one I think of here when I think of that is the Gerrard game, where we played so well in the first half and Lloris saved everything and we still managed to get beat. Obviously, terrible result.
Yeah, not good. I've said it before, this is one of the few times I've kind of criticised Emery in terms of tactics and stuff. I think he tried to kind of change maybe too much to kind of combat Spurs, where Spurs are there to be got at as well. So Emery will kind of probably hold his hands up with that one and say probably made a bit of a mistake with it. But, you know, we go down to 10 men, we can see 2 late goals. So it wasn't a 4-0. But at the time, it was like we've just lost to our kind of biggest rivals as such in the league table, 4-0. Not great.
Not a good look.
And it was a chance for us to have gone, 11 clear of Spurs, I think, at the time. So, it wasn't a good day.
Number 2 then, Unai Emery's 2nd worst result in his 18 months or so. Villa 4-2, Olympiacos 4.
Yeah, like again, there's
so disappointing.
Don't have to say too much about this one.
No,
I thought as soon as Luiz missed his penalty, that was our chance. Go into Olympiacos, I think I knew. I was obviously saying that if we score the first goal, you never know. But I was kind of convinced that we weren't gonna.
Yeah.
It's easy to say in hindsight, but I think a lot of fans as well kind of knew that we were going into a place where it's going to be difficult to get anything, and especially going there mentally 2 goals down. You know, the players, don't get me wrong, and Emery done it before. You know, they had a chance to do it, and they played well in the first half at Olympiacos. But it just mentally, I think we were drained at that point in the season, and just too much to do. And again, we weren't horrifically bad at home. It was just that Olympiacos took all their chances. They had deflections go in, and we missed a penalty. It was a night where everything could go wrong, did go wrong.
But it's the same thing we said about the Everton stuff. It's a cup game. It's a consequence. It's an immediate thing to deal with. That you're out of a competition that you're working hard for. The worst result then, John, in Unai Emery's reign so far is as expected. Yes,
that's how bad it was.
Villa 1, Stevenage 2. FA Cup, a game Villa absolutely be winning at home or away. Far superior team than a League 2 opposition.
Yeah, they got promoted, I think.
Should never be happening, really, things like that. So, absolutely. And again, as I've said, Everton, Olympiacos and Stevenage, 3 cup games that have ended in defeat, make it into Unai Emery's 10 worst. As you said at the top, there aren't many to pick from, really. It's not like we've lost 50 games and you go, there's millions here to choose from. He's probably only lost,
a couple more, Liverpool
15
and
or
Palace,
something, 20.
Brighton, it's probably about 4 or 5 more losses.
Yeah, so you're picking the vast majority of his losses are bad ones, but the cup ones especially hurt more, and for 2 cup ones to be the top 2 or the bottom 2.
And a lot of these aren't really like on Emery either. It's not. It's just Villa are going to lose games, but obviously this one, the manner in which we did it as well. Wow. Yeah. That's gone a walk.
Do you remember the clip of Tim Sherwood after we lost? I can't remember what game it was. He was like,
I've
never felt as bad as this in my life.
It was the Leicester game.
That was me.
3-2.
That was me. Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. That was me after Stevenage.
Yeah,
I've
it was just...
I've never felt this bad before. Jeez, no one feels as bad as I do.
Bewildered and yeah, because I was at my partner's house and which isn't like that local, so I couldn't go to the game. And I remember the game after that, I think, or was it the game before, was 1-1 against Wolves, and Bailey missed that chance in the last. So I didn't want to watch another Villa game there because it was like, you know, do you have that feeling of you can remember where you were in certain points and you just have bad memories of?
Yeah, sometimes.
So watching those Villa games on that TV, I'm not doing that anymore because
you're
obviously
associated with it.
I have a different job now anyway, but yeah, it was just horrible. That's as soon as he rolled the corner across, didn't he? And then no one came out to mark him.
Yeah. Let's move on, mate.
We were going to a replay, weren't we? Because Dendonka just lost the ball and
and the replay would have been a crap result, really, wouldn't it? Shouldn't even need
it would have been like, well, we'll do it the hard way.
I took it in the end. The best 10 now then, John, the more positive things to talk about. Again, same thing, we're going to do 10th best to first best, which is not the phrase, but stay with me. So number 10 is, what have you got for me?
I don't know, maybe this is a bit of a surprise to some people, but I went with Fulham 1, Villa 2. Yeah,
that is a surprise. It's not one I expected. Watkins' brace, was it?
Yes. Okay. It was mainly because of the context. We were ravaged by injuries. We had 2 centre-backs fit. Pau Torres had just come back, or essentially rushed back, so we had Longley, Torres. First game without Kamara, if I'm not mistaken, so McGinn filled in.
Kind of the odds stacked against us to an extent of like, well, if we lose here, you can kind of go.
Yeah,
well,
it was precisely
why.
that. It was a game of where, you know, literally that. Carlos got injured in training. Konsa was out because he hit his knee against the post against Sheffield United. Like, so much was against us, and it just felt like we were going into a game where we'd almost be forgiven for not playing well.
Yeah.
But instead, I actually think that was, for 60 minutes, our best away performance. Well, up until that point in the season. Only one mistake allowed Fulham back into it, and then Martinez makes a good fantastic one-on-one save against Adama Traore late on. So, for different reasons, it was also one of my favourite away games of last season as well. Fulham's always a good trip at the Craven Cottage, but we rarely win there, at least with fans in the stadium. So, yeah, that was
a different one that may not be in other
also
people's
a game that
tens.
it felt a lot like after the game. Emery went up to Damian and gave him like a huge high five, a huge what's it called? Like, what's it called when you clasp with the?
I would say handshake, but it's not. I know what you mean.
What is it? There's a name for it, I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big hug, and that was a big win.
Number 9 then on the list is.
Handwriting's not great. Sorry, guys.
6 is huge. Villa 6.
It's huge win.
Brighton 1.
Yeah.
More Watkins goals, a hat trick for him this time. One of the best days at Villa Park this season, probably for most. Yeah,
we won 6-1 against Brighton, who are a good team.
Yeah.
They played into our hands a little bit, and obviously we played exceptionally well. But you know, in the Premier League, you don't beat someone 6-1 unless the opposition aren't playing very well either. So Brighton did not have a good day, and we completely capitalised on it. Full credit to us. We then go and beat West Ham, I think, 4-1.
Yes.
Maybe the week later or something, I can't remember.
I don't know if it was back to back, but that was
or we
game.
Beat Chelsea 1-0 away before Brighton, maybe, and maybe been in the week that we lost to Leggy. I'm not sure now, but beat Brighton 6-1. We thought Brighton would be in and around European football. We battered them. So probably our biggest home win since Liverpool.
Yeah, I think so. I was going to say, you said before, Brighton a good team. At the time, especially, it felt like they'd certainly be like a top 6 contender. Obviously, they kind of fell off this season really, and weren't really a threat to anyone. They finished in the bottom half in the end. Finished 11th.
They finished above Palace. Sorry, Palace finished above them by being us. So they finished 11th. They lost United, didn't they?
Yeah, quite a drop off for Brighton really. But at the time,
that would be like the equivalent of us beating Newcastle 6-1. Next season again. Brighton lost players, and it's not the same team that finished where they were, but good team still.
Okay, number 8 then. I can see it. Spurs 1, Villa 2.
Yes.
The only thing I really remember about this off the top of my head is that it was my birthday, and I seem to remember that
Were you watching it?
I watched it, but in my head, I think that I'd got the idea of, I won't do the podcast today because I think it would have been a Sunday, and we'll just do the Monday show instead. Was my thinking. Right, yeah. But because we won, I think me and Neil, if I remember right, jumped on and was like, we've got to do it. Yeah.
Oh, my heart rate in that game.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my lord. Like, I wasn't in a condition to work. Seriously, those games really get to me, and well, most games do, but that in particular, because it was the way Tottenham play. I said this a couple of weeks ago of like Tottenham were our almost like the worst team to be going up against in the Champions League. Not because, I mean, not because they're the best team in the world, but it's how they play. When you watch their games, they're constantly attacking, and they obviously leave men spare at the back, so it gives the opposition opportunities, and that's why they finish fifth. But the way they play is horrible to watch.
Always dangerous.
You feel like they can score from every attack, maybe because I'm overplaying in my head thinking, you know, they're going to score because you don't want them to, you know. But, God, it's horrible. So, yeah, when they like every time the Son would be, he scored a goal, and I was just constantly looking at the line because he kept putting up his flag, and it's all in my head now. It's all flashbacks. It's horrible. But we won. We could have made it 3-1. I think Watkins had a header at the back post, and yeah, it's like trauma this game, even though we won.
I think we
I remember a couple of times just peering past a fan when one fan would always jump up celebrating, even when they'd go in on goal. I'd be peering around the corner like a scared little boy, and the guy would be Lino would be throwing up his flag, and I'd be like, it's just
I think we need to do some kind of feature where we get you attached to some heart rate monitor a game just to see like what is going on.
That would have been the highest. Like
get some doctor there with you.
When
just to see if you're okay.
When the ref blew his whistle, I was just like back. Martinez giving it the big in front of the fans and stuff.
I'm surprised this one's not higher up for you.
I am talking a lot about myself here, but I didn't want to make it like too personal. It was a big win, but we could have got Champions League without it, I think.
Yeah. Number 7 then. What's better than what you've just described?
Villa 3, Bournemouth 1.
Yeah, that felt Champions League defining to me. That was the moment we secured it, I think. Yeah,
that was the moment that we piled all the pressure on Tottenham. At that
just
point,
after Lille, wasn't it?
We knew that we could lose a couple of games and be okay. You know, the pressure wasn't on us, then it was all on Tottenham. Huge that week. Obviously, the Arsenal game, Lille, Bournemouth. God, like mentally and physically, we were done. And I think after then we showed it. We were zapped, and we came back from a goal behind as well, didn't we? So that's it was a huge win. And Bournemouth were a good team, so
they were on great form, top 6 form at the time. Yeah. So that wasn't just like Villa have beat Bournemouth. They were very good then. Yeah, that was a massive result. That really, really big. Number 6, John, is Villa 2, Brighton 1, securing top 7 last home game of last season.
First from that season, I think it is.
I don't know, mate. I'm struggling to keep track, to be honest. so many good moments to pick from. We spoke about this in the Q&A that we did in the office, where like picking a moment that means so much to you, like to finally get over the line, to do our job, win that game, top 7's done. Yeah, what a great afternoon at Villa Park. Everything that comes after it, all the celebrations, qualified up on the big screen, Emery going round afterwards. Yeah. Martinez doing his stuff over the mic as well.
It was. It's the game that we did it on. So, like, even though we've qualified for the Champions League now, which is obviously fantastic, just being back in Europe felt like winning the league almost for us, because it just felt like I've actually done that.
Yeah.
It was like a pipe dream. Even in the Championship, it was like, Villa, the owners want to get us back in Europe at some point. I don't know when that would be or if it would ever happen, but it did. Like literally a few years later. So it's like surreal. I've got it on my voice notes of just recorded it when like 20 seconds before the ref blew his whistle, just to kind of save the noise.
Play it.
That bit will be when John McGinn went in the corner. Do you remember that bit? I think. Corner.
Yeah. Moving on then from that lovely moment there. Halfway through the list now, Emery's 5th best result for us was his first. Villa 3, Man United 1.
Maybe not like the most important, but as a moment, it was something that kind of banished hoodoo. You know what I mean?
20 odd years of never beaten Man United
from the very start. It was just kind of start as you mean to go on. So it was just like, okay, this is the start of a new era. Like we've arrived, we're here. Obviously had loads of work to do after that, but just as a game to beat United at home, that completely alien. Like we didn't do that for how long?
96, I think it was. 97.
Mad, and we casually did it in Emery's first game. So
I think as an overall kind of, does this mean anything on our journey towards getting top 7 or top 4? No, probably not. It's the first game of, what was it, November, something like that?
Yeah, November.
Top of my head. 18th.
Yeah, first training session for Emery was November the 2nd. So
okay, no, slightly before then. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean a lot to the football club and its journey, but to us as fans to get over that thing of never beating Man United. For that to be his first game, we're already seeing glimpses of well, these lads can play.
We felt straight away like, okay, well, this guy might actually be able to do stuff that we didn't expect just off one game. But that's how much Man United have hurt us. Yeah. Okay, we're getting into the top end here. I think off the top of my head, there's a few games that are obvious contenders for the best. It's now in what order they come in. Okay.
So what have you got for fourth?
Fourth, Arsenal 1-0 against Villa 1-0 against Arsenal.
Yeah, okay.
At Villa Park.
McGinn's goal.
It wasn't and I don't mean this in a negative way, it wasn't our best performance, but we couldn't have done that. It was our best performance for a few minutes when we scored the goal. And then for the rest of the first half, we were kind of lagging a little bit. We needed half time. I think Tielemans came off injured, if I'm not mistaken. Had to reshuffle a couple of things, and in the second half we were made to suffer a little bit, but got the job done. And Arsenal at that point, they are a very good team. So I think we kind of, they did lose a couple of games actually in December, now I'm saying that, Arsenal, but we capitalised. Fully deserved the win because of how much we put into it, and it's just huge win. And obviously bit of a tease, but came after the big win.
Yeah, that Man City game is obviously going to be in this list without a doubt. But we saw Villa win 2 games there in 2 different ways.
Exactly.
We played against Man City and played them off the park. Very, very good team performance, attacking, creating chances, limiting chances for the opposition as well, which is something, obviously we are talking about Man City here and it will be in the list. I'm absolutely no doubt about it. But then to do the same thing against Arsenal in terms of scoreline, but produce it in such a different way that the goal is a beautiful team move, wins many people's goals of the season. And then have to defend and suffer, and Diego Carlos gets man of the match. So we're having to just kind of hold on and scrape over the line, but have that resilience and that mentality to we've got the goal and now we cherish it and we hold on to it. Sees Villa pick up two 1-0 wins in 2 very different ways, but 6 massive points against
72 hours
against teams that you don't expect to get anything against.
No.
So you can certainly see why Villa 1 Arsenal 0 is in there. And again, some people may have that higher, John. So what's number 3?
Villa 3-0. 3 is the number against Newcastle. Put this again higher than Arsenal, sorry, because firstly the performance was just outrageously good. Newcastle were a very good team then as well.
They were on a run of 5 or 6 wins, I think.
And I don't know why, just again, it wasn't the win that took us into Europe or did anything specifically, but that was in the run that we had where we were winning so many games. We were unbeaten in 10, I think. Just the performance was outstanding against an outstanding opposition. It could have been more than 3, probably should have been more than 3. Just play them off the park. It was a real statement. Like before that, we'd beaten some team, won against Chelsea 2-0 away, didn't we? But to Chelsea, kind of in mid-table, not really going anywhere. That I think was the first time we beat someone of note under Emery, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, we lost to Arsenal, we lost to City in that season, beat United. But to beat Newcastle in the fashion we did was, we just rolled them over completely. One of the best performances I've ever seen. Obviously, we just talked about Man City a little bit. Obviously, brilliant in different ways, but as you said, that Newcastle game could have been 5-0. Could literally have been anything. That was unbelievable. We'll do 2 and 1 where we have to do them together because I think there's only 2 games left here. It's just what order they go in. So give me your 2 first. What's second?
Second, I've gone with the winner over Man City.
Man City second.
Yeah. Could be controversial, I'm not too sure.
I think
the top 2, everyone would say the same top 2.
Is the other one Arsenal? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top is Villa 2-0 against Arsenal.
So these are all these that we've done here from 10 to 1 on the worst and the best has been your list. I've agreed on pretty much most of it anyway. And I think, as we said, the games they don't pick themselves, but certainly have a pretty decent chance of that. The order is where people are probably going to argue a little bit. I don't think many people would not put Man City top. So we've just talked about Man City and how good it was. We don't need to go into that. Why is Arsenal 0, Villa 2 better than that for you?
Because, well, firstly, this isn't taking anything away from the City result. I'm literally kind of picking out the smallest of margins.
Yeah. Well, we're debating here between two brilliant results, so we're going to have to nitpick it.
So away from home, we're playing at the time the team who were top of the league, or if they won that, they were still ahead of City. They hadn't lost for how many games? I don't have the stats to hand now, but the stats were incredible. They'd scored like on average 3 or 4 goals a game since they come back from Dubai or whatever. The only time they didn't win a match was away against City when they drew 0-0. A well-oiled machine. They're everything. Arsenal at that point in the season, I think they probably would have gone on to win the league if they didn't lose to us. And
we certainly stopped them winning the league by beating them twice.
So kind of without Kamara, for example, as well, this was far from Villa's best team. It came at a point in the season where it was kind of on a knife edge, I think, in terms of our top 4 push. It was, we're lagging a bit, struggling to put out our best performance, and to win 2-0 at Arsenal. I know you said the was it Bournemouth that we beat after Lille? Yeah. But the Arsenal game, for me, that was the one where we kind of proved to ourselves that, okay, we're still that team, because there was a bit of a dip, weren't there, after the new year, and a couple of poor results, United, Newcastle, but the winning at Arsenal was proof that we were still there. So was it a better performance than the Man City one? I don't think so, but the result, I think, was better.
Okay.
Because City at home, they didn't have Rodri. I thought we could probably get something against City at home. Yeah, if we play well, I think we can. I didn't expect us to batter them like we did. But if you asked me before each match, you more confident of winning this one or this one, I'd say City at home, because I felt like relatively confident we could get something. But Arsenal away, I thought we'd kind of
no chance.
Almost no chance.
Yeah, okay.
That was the same feeling I got from supporters before the match as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've just had a quick flick through the Premier League app to see the results around that time. They've changed the badge on the app. It looks weird now, seeing the different badge. So obviously we drew for Brentford 3-3, then Arsenal, then Bournemouth with Lille in the middle. So that period is obviously crucial for getting to the semi-final and not securing top 4, but going a long way to doing that. I can see what you're saying between Man City and Arsenal. I think all those games, Man City and Arsenal twice, and Newcastle, I think those probably are the top 4 for most people, without much doubt.
Yeah.
Please correct us in the comments if you think there's any others. The Man City one is almost like if you distill everything down into what Unai Emery ball is and what he wants to do in perfect conditions with everyone available, that is what can be achieved. Everything had to go right for that to happen. Arsenal is not that. We don't have Kamara. We're struggling in terms of energy, fitness, putting everything in.
Yeah.
Beating Man City in December doesn't. Obviously, every point matters, but it doesn't do anything for you. There's still half a season to be played. Winning Arsenal then, beating Arsenal then, beating Bournemouth then is getting the points that you need to get you over the line at the crucial time where things are actually happening and falling into place. So I can see why it's up there.
The City one was...
The goals were good as well.
City one was the best performance, and it was, as you say, if you could pick a performance to play against any team, that would be it. Should win every game.
Yeah.
But the Arsenal one was just, as a result, that was like huge.
So
that's why I've gone for that one. The City one was obviously massively important, but if we lost that game and we beat Forest, we would have had the same. I know that came before, but I'm kind of going with it.
Yeah.
Arsenal was, as you say,
running out of time to actually get something
came
done.
at the juncture of the season where it's like, okay.
Yeah. So that's every one, almost, of Unai Emery's results ranked. We've done the top 10 and the bottom 10, the middle 50 or whatever it is. It doesn't matter about that. They're just in any order.
I'm going to do it myself and not tell anyone.
Just for fun. John, thanks for putting the homework together for that episode. Very much appreciated. As always, get involved in the comments down below. We're keen to hear your thoughts. If you disagree with any of the 10 we've picked for either best or worst, then get in touch. Or if you think we've got the order quite a little bit wrong, again, we'd love to hear from you, because football is subjective, John. Yeah. I had a couple of little disagreements with some of the order.
I'm surprised we didn't mention for the bad results, Legia.
Yeah,
that was my exact feeling. It was like, we probably...
It was the first game.
And we probably got better because of it.
Yeah.
So
and we still
that's
got
why I
through
didn't
to the
include
next,
it. It was a
stage.
shock and a disappointment, but
Yeah.
the semis, you know.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, John, for that. Thanks, everyone, for watching or listening to the Claret Blue podcast. Still plenty of content upcoming, so stay subscribed, stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one.